Messianco, breaking Major League en la ciudad del sol. Here in Miami, we know who's el campeón. Leo my team, sueles on the field, always wearing they team. Como que ya son win, the trio of Fabi singing muchachos. Las familias se escuchan los barrios. Esta camiseta pinky la llevan todos los guachos. Los rookies quedan sin comentarios. Messi ambetea, tiki-taki gol. El estadio Chase bañado en gloria y sudor. Aquí se ama y se respeta el balón. Florida es tu casa, acostúmbrate al calor. Estate listo pa' Messianco. Estate listo pa' Messianco.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of Messi & Co. I apologize for the short delay, but we are super glad to have you with us for a very special episode, as it is one we've been waiting for and one we were very unsure was going to happen last Wednesday at like around 9:45 p.m. We were not sure this moment was going to happen, but here we are ready to do the Leagues Cup semifinal preview of Inter Miami versus Orlando City. I am here, Ashley, with my fellow co-hosts Gian and Matt. Welcome to another episode of Messi & Co. I'm very excited. How are we feeling, boys?
I'm excited that we're in the semifinals, and I'm excited to honestly, I just want the game to happen already. I mean, I'm going to the game, so I'm gonna be right there in that general area. So fingers crossed that we get the result. But no, I'm super excited. I got the adrenaline running. We're good. I'm ready. Let's get it.
I'm excited too. It's time for revenge, ladies and gentlemen. Time for revenge. These guys think they're the top dogs in Florida, but we're about to show them who's boss. And I'm really excited to talk about this. And I can't wait for the game. All three of us are going to be there, so that's really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool because I was there by myself last time, and not to make everything about me, but like obviously everyone speaks Spanish, and I only speak a little Spanish. So I was like kind of in silence watching the second half, and like my anxiety was through the roof, and I was just like, oh no, I have no one to speak to, and I'm just like shaking and like, oh no, what are they doing? What is Mascherano doing? And then I'm seeing a picture of him on the phone in like a nice chair, and I'm like, what century am I in? Crazy. But before we get to the game, and while we wait for a couple more people to join, first of all, Natalia, hola, welcome as always. OG, great to have you here. I did want to ask you guys if you had anything you wanted to say to me to congratulate me on.
To congratulate you on,
or that you think is happy or important to me. And Gian, you know me long enough that you should know this answer. Matt, you have a pass. So you don't have a pass. But Gian, if you don't know this answer, I will be disappointed.
Did something happen with Taylor Swift that I don't know about?
Yes. Good job. Taylor Swift is engaged to Travis Kelce, announced today at 12 p.m. They're engaged, and as I'm a huge Taylor fan, have been my whole life, and I'm very happy she's found happiness. So
does that mean we'll stop going to the NFL games, or does that mean we'll see more of her?
Probably more of her, which makes me happy. I mean, I think it doesn't really matter. I don't really care if she's there or not. I'm just happy she's happy, and I just thought I deserved a congratulations. So, Gian, you get the badge for knowing it was about Taylor.
I assumed, like, if there's anything to assume about you, it has to do something with Taylor.
It's either Taylor Swift or London or Inter Miami. Those are like my only. That's like how my brain is broken apart into the sections.
All right, so that was Miami.
That's so fair.
Swift and Inter Miami. What else? Did you say Tottenham? I feel like Tottenham should be one.
Well, Tottenham. I mean, Tottenham. It's Tottenham, but London in general, like living there, being there. That's like my favorite place. I used to live there, so anything England is always important to me. But yeah, so that's how my brain is broken up, and then some percentage, I guess, for work and friends. But you know, who cares about that?
Am I wearing the player edition? This is a player edition.
Good question.
I don't think
the
they
player.
wear...
It'll say it on the bottom. Do you have the Adidas official logo on the bottom? It's like gold, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the player edition.
Do they sell the regular edition?
Yeah, they sell like a replica
Let me see if I can.
that's like good for every day. Yeah, so that means official, like it's authentic.
Oh, sweet. So
Wow.
I can
That means
run and
you pay that good money. That's what that means.
I'll have to
You
ask
pay,
my wife. She bought it. I didn't
yeah,
realize she paid that
that means
much.
she paid that good money for it.
No, but honestly, like I can't say who, but I do have a hookup at Adidas, so I don't pay.
Ooh.
I pay like half.
You?
Yeah,
Well, I've only heard about this.
yeah.
He's in gatekeeping. He's gatekeeping the secrets, or the plug.
Damn, I don't know. I should have said that.
No, now she's gonna be poking at you with a stick. She's gonna be like, buy me this, buy me this, buy me this.
No, right? Seriously. I gotta get myself. I have one. I have the pink Messi version, Inter Miami jersey, that, and I have a couple shirts that I've gotten over the years, whether from like games or like trainings. I have a really sick Inter Miami jacket from the first year with the original logo, like
Oh, really?
it really cool.
You're always wearing sweaters. Why wouldn't you should wear one of those? We should wear that on one of these episodes.
You?
What?
When
Show you here. I'm gonna turn off my video for a second, but you guys keep talking, and I'll
I
show
was
it
gonna
to you.
say,
It's pretty
wait
cool.
until we win the semifinal. I'd be like, if we win the semifinals, you should wear it on the
No, I'll
next
show it
live
to you.
stream.
So talk about something.
Yeah, is it fake or original? This one's actually original. Yeah.
Yeah.
We bought it directly from, well, through my hookup through Adidas, like directly through the site. But it's like one of the things, like, honestly, sometimes I'll buy player and sometimes I'll buy fan, but it's just something like the fan isn't just the like the breathability. It's actually, there's sometimes the texture is actually different. Like
Yeah.
there's different, the way it's like woven and anything. It looks pretty
Correct.
pretty
Yeah. It's like made specifically for like everyday use or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You guys ready?
Yeah. Let's see it.
Check it out.
Ooh.
Oh, that's pretty raw. It gives me like
know
like
what-
90s vibes kind of.
You know what it looks like? You
It's
know
pretty
that.
cool, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
looks like one of those like ice cream sandwiches. Like you know what I'm talking
Oh
about.
my god, not ice cream. We can't go back to ice cream.
Fucking ice
Am I
cream.
just hungry? I think I'm just hungry. I think I just want dessert.
You're
Yeah.
rocking yours too, right, Matt? You're
This is the one from this year that,
Yeah.
that the players walk out with. So it's pretty sick.
that one is pretty sick.
So and I have the shirt that matches with it. I just need the shorts and the shoes, and then I'll be like one of the players.
Dude, I
So
want to get the Beckham, the new Beckham cleats.
the
seen
the
them?
Predators, the new
Yeah.
the new Beckham Predators. Yeah,
Dude,
those are pretty
they're
sick.
Sick, man. I would never wear them, but I just want to have
Just
them.
to
Like,
have them,
just ha-
and you
wanna
just have a
them on.
pink. I just want like a pink wall. I'll just have a pink wall with everything pink on it.
Have you seen, like,
Yeah,
these
no,
are
they're
all
pretty
my-
sick.
These are all my jerseys. I got a bunch here.
Yeah, I know. That's so crazy. It's so sick. Yeah, no, I'm gonna have a jersey, like a big jersey collection one day. You guys will appreciate it.
Awesome. Oh, that'll be fun. Okay. All right. That I think we've spent enough time talking about this. Natalia is Asher Swifty. She is. I'm not as big as the Swifty as I was when I was, like 15, but I still think she's great and she makes people happy. So, like, what can you say? All right, boys, it's time to get into the game and to get, like we said in our last episode. And by the way, we got some great comments. I thought good views. A lot of similar feelings that we had. It was, and talking about the DC game, by the way, that it was, what we kind of expected. It was heavily rotated. The players hadn't played together. The formations kept changing. You didn't bring in the reinforcements till the very, towards the end. You'll take the 1-1 with no injuries, because it brings me to the first topic, which is that Messi and Jordi Alba are back in training as of this morning, from reports, which is obviously great news. I cannot believe Jordi Alba. I don't know if his knee is made of, like, I don't know, like he took someone else's knee, but the fact,
Jordy, you mean?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess in the end what it was just a bone bruise, to your point, Gian, and that it was a collision with the knee. It wasn't anything that was like an ACL or a ligament. It's just something that was like he couldn't run on it that day, but with treatment and, ibuprofen and, stretching it out, it's not as if he actually injured something internally. It was just a bad knock. So even so, I was surprised but delighted. So what are your thoughts on first Alba and then Messi?
Um, well, I'm glad. Yeah, like you said, I'm glad Jordi Alba's back, and that it didn't really take any time for him to recover. Like you said, it was the bruise. I mean, like he didn't play at all last time against DC, and that was just a good time. That was a good time for him to just rest, recover, and focus on the important game, which is tomorrow against Orlando. And the same thing with Messi. Glad that he's back in training. We saw there was images of him and videos of him back in training this morning, and I believe yesterday as well. So and that's just good to see when you see Messi moving around in training, especially with the group. You can know for sure, or at least most likely, he will be playing tomorrow. So it's good to see Messi back, um, and it's good that we just have more of a shot of winning, I guess, tomorrow.
100%. And also, if you notice, we wanted to bring some consistency and also shout out Matt that you work on also another show and you do an amazing job, which is SoFlo Soccer. So we wanted to give the shout out, and now this way everyone has our name and handles. You just see every week
Oh, I appreciate it.
we're just improving the
Mhm.
production. Like
Yeah,
we're quality people, and so
yeah,
we bring our soccer knowledge and our fun everywhere we can. So but yes,
absolutely.
I agree with about Jordy. It was surprising but great to see. What do you think, Gian?
Yeah, it's good to see him back. I didn't think it was too serious. Looked like a knock originally, and that's what it seems like it is. Messi, to have him back is obviously amazing as well. So not only did they practice, but they're also part of the squad. They're on the squad list heading into tomorrow. They'll be traveling with the team. Materano was still hesitant to say whether he was actually going to start or not, but I feel like that's just for the optics and to also not give an advantage to Orlando City so that they don't know if to prepare for a team with him or without him, even though I'm pretty sure Orlando City's preparing for an Inter Miami squad that has Messi on it. But um, I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99 to 100% sure that he's going to start tomorrow. And, we lost a game, I think it was 3-0 against Orlando City earlier this year in May with Messi on the pitch. But I think that that's going to, the
There
second
was
game,
different circumstances.
he wasn't on. He was not on the pitch, but I think that Messi's going to probably use it as fuel, and we'll see a really. I think we'll see a Messi that really wants revenge and is going to be locked in. So that's exciting.
Yeah,
Exciting and good that he rested, obviously. I mean, in the end, in the moment, we were like, God, why did he play in LA Galaxy? We needed him for Tigres. But in the end, like I said, the football gods were watching over us, and he's been able to get the rest he needed. And hopefully we get our full version of Messi tomorrow.
Gian just
This is
almost broke his whole setup doing
yeah,
that.
I don't know what
Like
you were just doing there.
he
Were you
just
just bored with
broke
the mic?
Ronaldinho
everything.
makes it look so easy. I thought I could do that live on stream, and I almost broke my microphone. It almost fell off.
Like
That's
I
a
was saying,
crazy thing
he
to
broke
try.
his
Like,
Yeah, I could try balancing my water bottle on my head.
All right, go
but
ahead.
okay, this episode is already so off the rails. This is supposed to be like the most
Oh,
important game of our
okay,
season, you
sorry.
guys.
You see, look, this is the adrenaline. This is the fun. We're just so excited for tomorrow. Okay,
No, I'm just
sorry,
kidding.
we're focused. We're locked in. Let's lock. Okay, we're locked in.
Here's a good
We're
point
good.
though from Natalia again with a great point. Messi and Rodrigo de Paul playing at the same time. Orlando has not seen that yet, and they haven't seen them at their full power. And again, I don't think they are at their full power, but I
Mhm.
think they will be at their full willpower.
They haven't
And
seen Super Saiyan
Jordi
Balthazar either. So
and Baltasar, after that goal, I think we'll probably see him as one of the earlier attacking substitutions. Again, I'm sure Allende will start tomorrow. I don't, you know.
zero doubt, zero doubt.
So, but to your point, knowing that there's been some, whether it's doubt or it's formation or it's whatever it is, Inter Miami have continued to shown resistance to make attacking changes in the second half. They try to avoid them. They mainly focus on midfield and defensive changes. Um, but hopefully this means we'll see some Baltasar Rodriguez in the second half
Mhm.
because obviously you're not going to get that goal every day, but you can tell, in my opinion, similar to like a Yannick Bright, the eye test where you can just tell watching like this kid knows ball, like that he has the technical skills, he has the ability to create, and more than anything else, he has no fear. And that is what you need in an attacker. You need no fear. And right now, unfortunately, Allende, he's in his head. He's gone through a bad spell. He had a good spell in the beginning of the season. It happens to everyone. Like there are even Messi and Ronaldo have had moments in their careers where you have bad spells and you get in your head. So we'll see. But we'll get to the lineup in a little bit. But I think another thing that is really interesting to talk about is outside of the players on the pitch, the someone who will not be on the pitch is Javier Mascherano because he got a red card during halftime of last week's quarterfinal. Um, Bizarrely, in the sense that he was arguing with the referee at halftime, which I believe has been done by every single player and coach since the beginning of football. The history of the
Yeah,
sport has
of
happened in
course.
every match by everyone, and I didn't see any violent action or anything like that, so it was obviously a bit of a surprise to see. And then obviously his unique tactics in order to still coach was funny to see. I mean, look, in the end, it is legal to be, communicating. So he will have his AirPods. He'll be in the suite or wherever they let him sit. He'll have his AirPods in and phone, and he will be giving direct instructions to the assistant coach throughout the match. So, in terms of reacting and the aspect of, important coaches, the mind games you have with the fourth official, the gesturing you make, things like that are not replaceable. And those are things you miss because everything is gamesmanship, right? Like every moment, like pointing, oh, it's our ball, it's our header, it's not, it's our ball, the head, it's not theirs, like that's a foul going to the fourth official. Come on, where's the yellow? Or come on, give our guys a chance, things like that. You don't know if you're gonna get the same level of that aspect of it, but in terms of, like, who's on the field, what the tactics are, what the instructions are, etcetera, changes that need to be made, whatever, will all still be done by Mascherano. So, it's yeah.
Yeah, Javi Morales was at the press conference today
Mhm.
before the game, which is actually funny. For a second, I thought I had missed the game because it said on the title post match. I don't know if you
Really?
recognize it. Yeah, I'm like, oh damn, did we miss it? Like,
Really?
yeah,
I
it
didn't
said
realize.
Orlando City post match. But anyway, so Javier Morales was asked again, not again because Macherano was asked a question, but for some reason the topic keeps coming up about whether he's going to communicate with Javier Macherano. Same journalists continue to kind of instigate and for some reason push that narrative and push that question. But he's like, they asked him, are you going to be able to talk and communicate with Macherano? And Morales was very honest. Was like, yeah, of course, we're going to keep doing it because it's not illegal. Like it's
They
something
do
that
it in every league around the world, like, I've
so
seen hundreds of games where
yeah.
you
So
have a
Macherano
player in
probably
the
be in the
suite.
same spot you last saw him, which is right above the bench. So he'll be there. He'll be giving instructions, whether that's with walkie-talkie, mobile phone, or even a tin can with a string and another tin can next to Javi Morales' ear. He'll be there. So I think that's good. You want him to be able to coach. You always have good coaches around, assistant coaches, but at the end of the day, it's not the same as being coached by your coach. And so he'll be there.
I can back the tin can with the string method. I've done that many times as a
Does it
child.
actually work? I've always
Oh,
wanted to do that.
I'm not good at science. I failed science, but
In
I
what
could never
sense?
understand the science of like
What part of
little
science did you fail?
sound
Sorry,
going
I'm just
through a string.
curious.
Huh?
What level? I'm just curious. What level of science did you fail? Like, what
Well,
level
I
of
say fail. Like I ended up passing, but like I was really bad at it. It was like
Mhm.
biology. It was
What grade was
environmental
it?
science. This is every grade, like
Okay,
from literally from elementary school to high school, and even in some
okay.
college courses, like biology, environmental
I
sciences,
mean, I suck at science too, but I'm like,
chemistry.
I was just thinking, I'm like,
No,
did you
no
fail like
chemistry.
5th grade science? Like, what do you mean? I just wanted to
I don't even remember
clarify.
what was fifth grade science. Oh, I think that was like rocks and stuff, like geology or
So
whatever.
the
But
tin
anyway,
cans work.
the
So
tin cans work.
that's
So
important to know.
I think
Okay.
answer.
literally passing through the string, you just talk, or like cups, like you just talk into the cup. You just have to make sure the tension's tight on the string, and then on the other side, you'll be able to hear it. So,
If I see Macherano, I'll let him know because I don't want any communication
absolutely.
not going through. I want him, if he's talking about him, ascende,
Yes.
ascende.
Yes. Yes. No, absolutely. I definitely, and look, And like what Mascherano said in one of his interviews, like it's not like it's not allowed for him to talk on the phone like during a game.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
true.
like they can't really just they can't accuse him of anything. Like he can yell, he can talk on the phone, he can do whatever he wants, and they can't really assume that he's doing things that he shouldn't be doing. So
I like that. He
uh
needs to keep it conspicuous. If I had like one piece of advice for that, if he wanted to keep it more conspicuous, like as soon as he puts the phone to his ear, maybe the assistant coach doesn't pick up his phone at the same time. Like, maybe,
yeah,
like a little 10-second buffer.
maybe yeah, give it like a delay, a little delay. But
I
that's
agree
why I
though. I
don't see
mean,
them
like
doing a walkie-talkie. That's why I don't see them
I'm
using
sure
walkie-talkie.
you watch La Liga all the time, Gian. Matt, do you watch much European soccer or South
Yes,
American
most of the
soccer?
time, whenever I get a chance, when I'm not
Yeah.
working on the weekends, yeah, I watch it.
And I same with me for Premier League, and I'll just say from Pep Guardiola, I can name countless matches where he sits in a suite, but he's has his AirPods in and phone, and he's talking the whole time, and he coaches the whole game. So it's
Mhm,
like it's just silly in my opinion. But
mhm,
and Javi Morales has been around this team, and he knows the players. He knows, he's been around the block. So I think that shouldn't make a huge impact. I think a thing we can't discuss also is before we get to the game in general. How about just the revenge aspect in general? Like forget the actual game tomorrow, but it being against Orlando City. I think this is an interesting comment. How can you be excited, Matt? Orlando beat us 2 times with 7 goals conceded. I'll say there's definitely
mhm,
context to those games. They were not normal games for sure. And there's also different rights for this game. And I think if you look at the overall rivalry,
mhm.
Inter Miami have had the upper hand. But with that in mind, why do you think rivalry, revenge in general will be an important topic for tomorrow?
Because so when you look at Orlando and Inter Miami, we always talk about the in-state rivals. We talk about these two teams and how they clash, the Sunshine Derby, whatever you want to call it. And every time that these two teams clash, you just never know who's gonna win. When we talk about overall, I think we played a lot of games together. I believe it was 18 games, but Inter Miami versus
Yeah,
Orlando in the
right.
course of our history, and Inter Miami won 5, we tied 6, and Orlando won 7 times. So there's like the level of competitiveness between these two teams is definitely up there. Um, Orlando are a great team, Inter Miami are a great team, and we just recently lost to them twice in a row or back to back times. Both pretty bad losses, but like you said, the circumstances were different, etc. But that only the revenge portion, those two losses should be bringing out that kind of revenge in everybody, in the players, because it's like those kinds of losses should be like they should be hyping you up to be like, all right, like we're here to come back, we're here to show you guys that we're not a team to mess around with, that we have the best players in the world, that we can beat Orlando, we can beat our in-state rivals, and have those bragging rights against our rivals. So I think everybody should be excited. I think everybody should be wanting, uh, or should be hyping up this rivalry, because these are great teams. They battle it out constantly, and it's always back and forth. And hopefully, we need to get our revenge from losing pretty bad last time out.
Um, I think you've got good players on both teams, and I think that that makes it an even better matchup than I think just adding to the fuel of obviously the in-state rival. You always want to beat Orlando. Doesn't matter where they are on the table, where you are on the table. It just so happens that the stage is 10 times the magnitude right now, with it being a quarterfinal. The fact that you've got,
Semifinal.
semifinal, you got Muriel versus Messi. Obviously Muriel is not anywhere near. I'm not saying that, but it's players that are, Messi, the best player in Argentina, Muriel, one of the top players in history for Colombia. Um, and yeah, they're both good. They're both playing very well right now. Orlando right now is fifth, and they want to beat Miami again, and they want to make it. They want to take over the season and make it a season where Inter Miami whether it was in MLS or in Leagues Cup, across all competitions, they want to make it a year where Inter Miami was not able to beat them, and they're so close to that. And what better way for Orlando to do that than to knock us out? And what better way for us to say, no, that's not going to happen by knocking them out of a Leagues Cup quarterfinal? So it's exciting all the way around. And the fact that it gets to happen at our house is even sweeter in front of our fans. And yeah, it's an incredible rivalry, and it'll be a fun match.
100%. I feel the same way. The energy tomorrow, I think, is going to be really, really electric. And it means we're one step closer to a trophy. Unfortunately, the final it won't be at in Inter Miami Stadium because both MLS teams in the other semifinals are seated higher than us, which I don't understand how that works. The seating for Leeds Cup. Maybe one day we can learn that.
I don't know.
But it'll regardless. So it'll either be the LA Galaxy or the Seattle Sounders. If we do advance, we will do. I'll say this, and I'm making a promise. Maybe on behalf of you guys, we will either do a live stream during the game or an immediate post match live stream. That I can say, so that we can all, even though we can't be there in person, we can still either celebrate or commiserate together.
Yeah,
Um,
because it'll be
but
West Coast, you said, right? So it'll be like an
what do you
earlier
mean West
kickoff
Coast?
or a later kickoff. It'll be a later kickoff, no? Like
It's a
if it were
Sunday
to,
though. It's a Sunday though, so I think
oh,
it'll
that's
be.
even
I
worse.
I think maybe it'll be like maybe like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock our
Oh,
time.
okay, that's not really that bad, I
Yeah,
guess.
because well, it'd be crazy to have a final that you start at 11 p.m.
I was gonna say, like,
that
I
would
thought
that
it
would
would be
never
like an
happen.
11 p.m. Eastern time kind
Yeah,
of deal, but
that would be crazy.
especially on a Sunday, I'm like, give us a break.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
This is an interesting comment. I don't like Muriel. He got a red card in the last MLS game. Inconsistent. Well, that works in our favor. Bright over Allende. Honestly, it's not half. I'm not saying no exactly. Real deal says I feel like with the overall experience Miami brings, we got the goat. We should either be um, first or second place if we don't win this tournament could be a letdown. I think
Hmm.
that's fair to say. We came in as one of the favorites, and especially now, it's crazy that after all of that, even with the whole home field advantage thing, that not one Liga MX team made it to the last four. It does surprise me because there is home field advantage, but let me tell you something right now, and this is being completely honest and impartial. There was way more Tigres fans than Inter Miami fans at last week at the match. So,
Hmm.
it was there and there are teams from Liga MX that are, I would say, have higher levels slightly than Inter Miami. So just it surprises me that it's the four MLS teams in the end.
I can back that too. I remember in that game there was that corner in the away section with like full of Tigres fans, and even on the sides in like the
On the
100
sides, I
seconds.
saw, yeah,
I'm like,
which
oh
you
my god.
normally don't see, yeah.
Yeah, normally you don't really see that kind of thing, and but that just shows the Mexican presence that
Right.
is in this country, and it definitely shows it. And even though like these Mexican teams are not playing at home, but like in these places like Miami and these places like Texas and Los
And Los
Angeles, like
they're
they
they're
show up.
getting a lot of supporter, yeah, it's
Oh,
definitely something
1000%.
that needs to be they need to find a solution to it eventually because obviously
Yeah.
there should be some equality there. Um, I wanted to bring up something else, and before we go to the predictions of the game and the lineup, I have to get something off of my chest, and we need to talk about it. And this comment, it's a joke, but it's something I'm being completely serious about, and I saw it firsthand. Not that player, but how can we find a world where Yannick Bright, Busquets, and DePaul play at the same time, and Messi and Suarez? How can we find that? What could we do to make that happen? Because I truly mean it when I say it. You could even see like the three of them work together so well, and Bright is just too talented to be on the bench. And I guess maybe this is me asking you, like, Is there any way? Is there any type of way that could it mean a back three? Could it mean, a 3-5-2? I don't know. I don't know. I'm putting it out there. I know we've always said it's impossible to do because of formations and things like that. And on the surface, it doesn't make sense. But with your own eyes, the 3 of them worked so beautifully together, and, it gave Busquets had the freedom to be more back than normal.
Mhm.
DePaul had the freedom to be more forward than normal, and and Bright was handling every aspect of the middle of the pitch perfectly.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. It's something that it may never happen, but is there a way? Do you see ever a way?
Nah.
Probably, yeah, I was gonna say probably not. Unfortunately, but it is unfortunate though, because if this was a perfect world, I would have loved to see a midfield and a front line of starting at the top with Suarez, Velasco Segovia, Messi, De Paul, Bushi, and Bright, like all in
Yeah,
one
like, what if we
thing.
moved to a 4-3 like, what if we did a 4-3-3
Who the
and
hell's
you
gonna attack then? Like there's no
what
attackers.
well, your attack would be Messi,
Messi does
Suarez.
Suarez isn't an attacker. Messi isn't an attacker. None of those guys
Messi's
are
an
attackers.
attacker, he
The
scores
Messi,
problem, the
because he
problem,
goal
scores
I
line.
doesn't
mean,
mean he's an attacker. He's
what
not
what
an attacker.
like what
What's
do you
more
mean? It's like
important, though,
they
being
drop
called an
pretty
attacker
deep
or scoring
to.
goals?
He's not an attacker. I don't know what to tell you. Like you're gonna have 5 midfielders. Just
Last year, we
Exactly.
played
you're
him
gonna
at
have
That's the
the
right we
problem.
played him
That's
you're
at
the
gonna have
right
the
issue.
wing a
best.
lot last
You're
year.
gonna have 99% possession, and
Cor
and
and
then
then
like
still lose one.
and still
No.
lose. Like that doesn't
No.
make sense.
No, but so like what he means is like literally like for example, Suarez has been playing that false 9 position that whole time. So players like Suarez, players like Messi, even DePaul, they play so deep in the midfield. They're not really playing in that advanced positions to where they're getting into goal scoring positions. Um
But if you had Bright and Busquets in the
mhm.
game, they would feel more comfortable being more forward, is what I'm saying. It's like
No,
a
Maybe, but
dominating
like
effect,
I mean, like in theory,
domino
maybe
effect.
you can say that, but I think in that system, it'll probably not. I don't want to say it's too confusing, but like I think it's just not. It just won't work with the system that they
Mascherano
have.
system.
Like
Mascherano
yeah, like
has
I guess.
Messi's at half field getting the ball, and he starts from there.
But what if he
Messi
doesn't
needs
have to be?
Messi needs people running in front of him. Same thing with Suarez. Suarez gets the ball and he needs to connect to somebody making a run into space. The ones that run into space right now primarily is Allende. Allende
it's
is the center
agenda.
forward of this team.
Hmm.
Allende is always a center forward. And then you have Telasco that will do that, but
That tries, but then
it tries to
it's
Jordi.
Jordi.
It's Jordi. It's basically the two attackers are Jordi and Allende
Here's a
in
question,
reality.
though. How about this? But then what if you drop Segovia and then you have Allende and so you have a front line of you have Suarez, you have Allende, and then you have Messi. And so it's still the 4 what is it? 4-4-3-2
Um, the four
or
two three one
four two
because
three
we play
one.
a 4-2-3-1. Yeah.
So, like, something like that, like, I'm just saying, like, if if you had to choose between Segovia and Allende, let's just say, and you could in li let's just say if you had to drop one, which would you drop of the 2? In terms of for attacking, like, if you wanted an attacker, which of the 2 would you drop?
I mean, Telasco isn't an attacker, so it would if I have to keep an
I
attacker,
mean,
it has to be Allende.
it had to be.
It's not the same player.
So tell me then, like, why couldn't be there be a situation where Segovia, who has been playing incredibly well, but to your point, Messi, when you have DePaul and Messi and Segovia, they're all doing very similar things. So in my eyes, I would rather have a DePaul or a Messi feel more comfortable being a little higher. Segovia is a sub, and I'd
Mhm.
rather feel super confident and strong in Busquets and Bright in my middle. Does that make sense? Like, I'm just saying there's a world where then you still have Allende making runs, you have even DePaul making runs, you have Suarez making I wouldn't call them runs, they're jogs, but you know what he does. I'm just saying I think there are ways you could try it. Like Segovia hasn't done anything wrong and he's scored a couple great goals, but you know, I don't think it's an impossibility that you can maybe see a game and maybe not tomorrow in your semifinals, maybe. But I just think that Bright Bright, Busquets, and DePaul had a great partnership, and if you have to sacrifice someone for it, in this case, I would say you could sacrifice a Segovia, and that way you're still keeping your Messi, Suarez, and Allende attack, and you just try it one game. Maybe it's not tomorrow, but maybe you just try it once.
I'll
I
give
don't
you
know.
two scenarios. I'll give you two scenarios where you'll see the lineup that you want with Busquets, Bright, and De Paul. The first, before I give you those
Are
two,
these sarcastic, or do you actually mean them?
no, I'll give you two. But before I give you those two, I'll tell you that it'll never be because it's your best 11. So those three will never be in your best 11 at least under Macherano. The first scenario you see that is injuries, and you got no one else to play that would fit what Macherano wants to do. So you'll see those three. So it's not going to be because it's a best 11. The second scenario, I've mentioned it to you before, is if you're trying to control a game because you're up and you're trying to hold on to a lead in which you take out an attacker, like you take out Allende, and then you move the ball forward, and then Yannick Bright slots in next to Busquets. Those are the only two. But as far as a starting 11, because those are your best three, and you're going for you need a must win, go home, or a winner go home. Like that's not going to happen under Macherano's current system.
Mhm.
If you had Suarez under Tata's system, or he was actually more of a striker, maybe. But under Macherano, it can't happen.
Yeah, maybe.
Hmm.
I just think Bright, I just think he's so valuable.
You have to remember he's young, and it's not that big a deal. You'll have many years with him
To
here.
see him,
As
yeah.
soon as Busquets heads out, like I think he'll be starting next to the Paul. So
Yeah.
there's plenty of time for that. And I'll say, just because I mentioned Busquets, Busquets was actually in the conference today, and he was asked about his future, and he said that he feels really good right now, but that he hasn't made a decision as to whether he's going to play another season. That he feels great, but he hasn't decided either way. So he's not retiring, and he's not moving forward at this time. He was also asked if he would actually head um, back to Europe,
Spain, yeah,
yeah,
Mhm.
Spain, or
or
play
Europe.
another team in Europe, or play in any other team. To which he responded that he's not at that point in his career about thinking about going somewhere else. He wouldn't do that. Like basically, this is it. Like
This
he
is it,
stays in
yeah.
Miami till he decides he's not playing anymore.
I will say, I mean, he's had some phenomenal passes this season, but this is the first of the last 3 seasons where I feel like I'm starting to see a step slower. Like, I didn't feel that the first 2 years. Like, I remember the first year, it was like when I was sitting in the regular seats with my mom, it was her favorite player. She's like, he's a composer, he's a maestro. He knows everything that's gonna happen 10 like, seconds before everybody else, and he still does that. But you can see the fatigue a little bit. Hopefully, I think DePaul is gonna help that a lot, where he's not gonna feel as much responsible, so maybe it elongates his career. And maybe it's just a rotation thing, maybe there's nights they switch things up. I guess I was just posing the question because, you know, obviously missing Messi it's never the answer. Messi's always your first choice, but when I was watching it last Wednesday, I was just thinking and seeing it, and I was just like, I was so impressed with how the 3 of them played together. I know it's not gonna happen in your perfect 11, but I think it deserves credit because the 3 of them worked together beautifully. But we can move on, and you never know, we'll see, it can come up again. And if you guys ever wanna talk about other players or things to try, bring it up, let us know because, um, this we're getting towards the point of the season where there it Mascherano is gonna have to start regardless of tomorrow's outcome. Now, you know, we're getting near the seeding and how the MLS, we have 3 games in hand. Um, there's an international break, you know. He's gonna have to start making decisions if he's gonna go with consistency, if he's gonna go with hot hands, if he's gonna try new things, if he's gonna do it on a game by game basis. And so from a Baltasar to a Noah Allen to a Yannick Bright? Will we see rotations in ways that we weren't expecting? I don't know. We'll see, and hopefully we'll have more good conversations about it. But let's get to tomorrow, right? That's what everyone's here for. And I know we're usually on a little later in the evening. So please, if you couldn't catch us live, leave a comment. Let us know either your predicted starting 11 or your score prediction. If you get it right with the goal scorers, we will shout you out in the post match reaction. But let's talk about who we think is going to be playing. Who do we think is going to be the starting 11? And as always, let's start from the back and work our way forward. In goal, Ustari.
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 Who? Ustari? Ustari.
Ustari.
Ustari. Okay, agreed. Now, tricky. We're already at the tricky land. We're already at the tricky land. 3 weeks ago, this This was the easiest one to answer. Now, I think it's actually the hardest. I think we'll see Ian Frey on the right because
agreed.
Unless the cramp or whatever he experienced last Wednesday is worse than we feared, I think he is the first choice. I think. So I'm voting Ian Frey. You guys tell me, do you agree or do you think it will be Cello?
No, I think it's going to be Ian Frey. I think that'll be the smart move. That'll be the logical move. But yeah. I think
even if you have to sub him at the 60th minute because he's still getting his legs under him, it's still worth it for those 60 minutes, I think, because he's that talented that it's worth starting him.
I'm just looking at the lineup that that Orlando used the last when they beat us 4-1 on August 10th. So less than a couple weeks ago, and they had Angulo on the left. And who else? And then you had Freeman, who's the right back on the right. You have Pasalic. Look, some of these guys are really fast on the wings, and I feel like Orlando attacks a lot on the wing, and I think that for Inter Miami to be able to kind of mitigate that risk, they're going to have some offensive presence on that right side to kind of keep their right backs and their left and right midfielders at bay, not being able to push up as high. So that's why you're going to need Frey. I think it's going to be important for him because he's more of an offensive threat than Cello really is. If you don't have Frey, that whole side
especially if you don't have Alba at 100%.
Yeah. So I think, think about it, because you have Angulo on that side. Do you want Cello facing Angulo? Do you want Ian Frey facing Angulo? Do you want Angulo and I'm going to probably butcher the name, but Brecalo, who's their left back? Do you want those two guys to have just freedom down that wing and be able to attack at will, not having to worry about who's going to, be attacking them? Or do you want Ian Frey on there to kind of keep them a little bit at bay? I think that's going to be important.
Yeah, Matt, agree?
No, I agree. And I don't want to add anything more to that because I think you kind of nailed it. I'd rather just have Ian Frey than Cello on that right-hand side.
Okay, cool. We're all in agreement. Something tells me Cello's gonna start, but
no, don't manifest it, please.
I think it's the fact that he just started the quarterfinal leads me to believe that Mascherano realizes that when healthy, he is the best option. So we won't talk anymore on that. But yeah, Ian Frey, and then obviously one center back is going to be Maxi Falcone, of course, who's been I'd say one of our best players of the year, of the season. He's had a few moments here and there, but he he got a red that was wrong, or he got beat on something, but his consistency, his competitiveness, and his overall ability to be a center back, I think, has been super consistent and great. And he's when we come towards the end of the season, we'll say I think he was one of the best pickups of the year for Inter Miami. So definitely one center back, correct?
Yep.
One center back?
One of the
I'm saying I'm going one at a time. Like he will be one of the center backs.
Yeah, I agree on that. Before you say the next one, just want to say we don't have the skills to play a low block and lack athleticism for the high block. I agree with that. The low block is intended for a team that has the player personnel to be able to defend
Right.
at a high capacity. We don't have that. We are not Inter Milan. We are Inter Miami. Inter Milan
Very true.
has made a name for themselves
Right.
playing defensive like that. We unfortunately can't do that. So I agree 100% with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not able to soak up all that pressure. And I guess really the question is not if Maxi Falcone is going to play or not, but I guess who's going to be partnered with Maxi because
Well, that was gonna be my next question.
okay.
So, because I'll give you two scenarios. One, if Jordi Alba is healthy, I think it will be Lujan, based on what I've seen over the last few games. Whether we think that's the best option or not, that's a separate question. I think if or excuse me, no, let me rephrase that. If Jordi Alba is available at left back, I think you'll see Noah Allen as the left center back. I think if Jordi Alba is unavailable, you'll see Noah Allen at left back and Lujan at center back. I hope. Or the option 3 is that you'll see Lujan and Jordi. So there's 3 options there, and they're I my hopeful one is that it's 2 where it's Jordy and Noah, but it seems recently Lujan has gotten the favor. It was Noah Allen was recovering from an injury, and maybe Mascherano is thinking about right now. It's about consistency and that Maxi and Lujan have been playing the majority of the last few games together, and that's important. But it discounts what I thought was a beautiful first half of the season of Noah Allen playing left center back beautifully, and would be a shame. But it's tricky because it's obviously very dependent on if Jordi Alba plays or not. And then outside of that, it's a question of consistency versus quality maybe or what you think makes the most sense for that game. So Matt, let's start with you. What are your thoughts kind of on those 3 scenarios?
I mean, yeah, Lujan is just a preferred option for I think Mascherano in general.
Oh, and Aviles is not even an option, by the way. So I didn't
Probably
even
not.
mention it.
No, most
So no.
likely not. But if Jordi Alba's available, which I think he will be, and I think he'll start, and I think he'll play the majority of the game. I think honestly, the rest of the back line is gonna look like from left to right. Jordi Alba, Maxi Falcon. I think Lujan is gonna start, and then I think Ian Frey is gonna start.
Yeah, I
I would
agree.
like to see Noah because I just have that preference. I like to back the local lads.
Who played
But
great, but he got injured. Yeah.
yeah, no, I think he and I've said before, I think he's been probably one of the most consistent players for our team since since the beginning of the season. And yeah, the
You
injury
gave
set
him
him back a little bit, but like
that
it
captain
wasn't even
shout
like
out.
that
Yep.
crazy. But I think that's going to be the starting back 4. And I would hope that Ian Frey can get that start, and I would hope that Jordi Alba could last the whole 90 minutes, like at somewhat 100%, like I don't know, 90% maybe. But yeah, and I think Lujan is going to play, and we just have to hope that he has a nice game because against Tigres, he had a pretty good game from what I can remember.
Yeah.
And so if he can have something similar to that game against Tigres, then I'll have faith. I have faith in
It's
that.
interesting. Before you go, Gian, it's interesting because I've seen a lot of online discourse of a lot of hate towards Lujan, and maybe I don't know ball in a certain aspect, and I wouldn't say he's a superstar, but I'd say him and Maxi Falcone, it hasn't been the worst thing I've ever seen. Like I've seen far worse center back combinations that Inter Miami has played. And while I think Noah, especially in the beginning of the season, had earned his place at the center back role, he's still coming back from injury, seeing consistency. I don't know. I don't have very strong opinions on Lujan. You know what I mean? Like I think he is serviceable. I don't think he's amazing, but I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. So I'm curious just like what is your take on Lujan? Is it that serious? And to know to Matt's point, who do you think is kind of going to be that preference on the left side?
I'm 99% sure it's going to be Lujan as your left center back with Maxi Falcon as your right center back. Noah Allen is is a good young developing player. I think he cemented himself as a good option there. So whether
Earned his captaincy over the
some-
weekend. Was good to see.
sometimes he'll start, sometimes he won't. I think that against Orlando City, last time he started at that left center back role, and I think he struggled
Yeah.
4-1. Like, I don't think it was a good game for Noah. It wasn't a good game for the entire team, but I don't think it was a good game for Noah. And I just think that Macherano has leaned more towards Lujan as of late. So I'm almost certain it'll be Lujan. And just to touch on what you said, it's not like we have world class center backs, and the drop off between whoever's starting who our other center backs are, and Lujan is like huge. I mean,
Right.
Lujan, okay, maybe isn't the best, but neither is every other defender we have other than Jordi Alba. We're not talking like you instead of playing Materazzi, you're playing Lujan. I mean, it's not like that either. So
Right.
at the end of the day, Lujan isn't the best, but neither is anybody else. And I think that that's one of the reasons why people were so excited about Inter Miami possibly bringing in another defender. I think POV was one of them.
And we obviously lost David Martinez.
We, so yeah, I think he's enough to get the job done against Orlando City. I'm more than the actual center backs. I'm more worried about whoever starts in the midfield, and who we'll touch on that next, because I think that those guys are going to be more important in making sure that whoever our two center backs are don't have to freaking face these one-on-ones, because we know that they're poor at it. They're not the best. And that's more important to me, is the midfield.
Yeah. So I think like I said, I think the hate's a bit much. I think if you're thinking about your other options, it's to your point. Would we have preferred to have kept David Martinez on loan and he would start? Yeah, but that's not what happened. We work with what we have. Lujan, in my opinion, has been serviceable and nothing amazing. But I don't he's had a few mistakes, but overall I think he's done his job. And so to your point, I think he will be there tomorrow. Okay, let's get to midfield and attacking, because we're wrapping up the show soon. Midfield. I mean, I'll start with this one because I think I'll start with two people who are definitely playing in the midfield. Their names are Sergio Busquets and Rodrigo de Paul. I'll name two people who are definitely playing who are playing as attackers. Uh, and if you don't want to call them attacker, whatever, I'm saying it. Messi and Suarez. So we know those four players are playing, and then we know the four defenders are playing. So who are the other three? You tell me. I think it's going to be the same, but just curious. We know those four are 100% guarantees. Who are the other three?
The other two.
Excuse me, the other two. Sorry, the other two.
It's the double pivot. The double pivot's gonna be Busi and De Paul, and I think it's gonna be the same thing that Mascherano has been doing all season. I don't think he'll throw in a Baltasar. I don't think he's gonna throw in, or change anything up at this point, especially for a semifinal game. I think he'll keep it with the standard. I think it's gonna be Busi, De Paul double pivot with Segovia and Allende, and then Lionel Messi with Luis Suarez up top.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's not. I literally have no doubt who is starting outside of the.
Like, I'd be more sorry, Gian, but I'd be more surprised if like Baltasar started over, and like anybody, like over.
No, imagine Baltasar started, for example, because it wouldn't be.
I'd genuinely be shocked. I'd be really, really shocked. I'm so honored.
It would be, if it was anyone, it would be Segovia, right? It wouldn't be yet, like in terms of where he'd line up. He'd line up on the left, right?
It wouldn't be Allende, no.
Wouldn't that be something? I mean, Segovia, though, in my opinion, hasn't done anything to not keep his position, but he hasn't provided a spark. Like, he's done his job in terms of from a midfield perspective, but he hasn't scored in a while. That would be a hell of a thing to put in Baltasar instead of Segovia. That would be cool to see, because Baltasar and Allende, I think, both bring those explosive runs. And then knowing you have your DePaul and Busquets as your kind of there, and then Messi dropping back when needed to, and Suarez in that false nine. Man, that'd be something to watch. I don't think we'll see it, but that would be cool to watch. Hopefully, we'll see him get subbed though. Look
Remember,
at this though. Look at this comment. Bright will 100% start. Start where?
Alessio's also Italian, so he's very.
just so you know, Pelazo Segovia actually has
Shout out to Alessio.
2 goals in 4 matches for Leagues Cup, so he's done
No,
pretty
no.
well.
I'm not saying like I said, he does a good job and he hasn't deserved anything to not play. But if you were to bring in a spark, I'm just saying based on how our formation is and how it works, like it wouldn't be Allende, it would be Segovia, in my opinion, in what I think is Mascherano's pecking order. Not necessarily what I would do, but if in that pecking order, I think that would be the change first. But no, Segovia has had a good season, and I think a better season than Allende. But like we've said, we're broken records at that point. It doesn't seem to matter because Allende is not going anywhere. So yeah, but I wish Yannick Bright would start tomorrow. That'd be cool. Probably won't happen. Hopefully, what I will say is though, we will see in the second half, if needed, quick actions, and I think you will see Baltasar and Bright as your 2 first subs, and Kremaski maybe. Like, I think those 3 will enter the game sooner rather than later.
Right.
Than maybe in a
Because I was
normal
gonna
game.
ask you guys that, like in the situation where it's like second half, maybe 1-1, or we're down 1-0, or even when we're in extra time, or no, we're not extra. There's no extra time,
Right.
but or like we're on the verge of penalty kicks. It's like, what kind of substitution? Like, do you want Baltasar to be brought in for Telasco Segovia? Do you want Benja to be subbed on for penalty kicks? Like,
Well,
who
I
do you
would
want?
say Segovia normally comes out at the 65th minute, regardless of who's playing and who's not, and it's usually for Kremaski to bring energy. So I don't see that part changing. I think it's a matter of, does Mascherano have the will or the strength to be able to say either we're down 1 or whatever, bring in another attacker instead of bringing in more defensive support. That's the question, and we'll only know as the game progresses. Who would you want? Gian, I'm curious, like second half, let's say it's either a 1-goal game or 0-0 on either side. Who would you like to see as your first 3 subs? And it could be in any order, and you can say the time, but I'm just curious, who do you think will be the first 3 subs?
If we're tied, you said?
I said if it's either 0-0 or down 1-0 in that situation. Because if we're up, I think it'll be Bright and Kremasi because he's gonna, play back, which is silly. But I would say if we're down 1 or it's tied, who do you think would be the first players you see subbed in for Inter Miami?
If you need a goal, I think the obvious thing would be to I think there's 2 things. I think one of the things that you can do if you're down a goal and you need a goal would be to sub Telasco out, and then you can bring in Fafa, or
Baltasar?
or you can take out Telasco, move De Paul up, and then bring in Kremaski to be to help out with Busquets. That's a couple of options you can do if you're just trying to keep the game, then and at the same score, and whether you're tie and you want to take it to penalties, or you're up 1-0. I think that obviously then changes things, and that allows you to still, like, to me, regardless of the situations, Telasco is always going to be probably one of the first ones to leave Telasco and Allende.
Yeah.
It's going to be those 2, and at that point is when you bring in Kremaski. Kremaski gives you more energy in the midfield and solidifies that midfield. Bringing in, now you have David Ruiz too, that's at your disposal, so that's somebody else that you can bring in to fortify that midfield. If you want to still have some attacking pressure and still not go full attack, you can always now bring in Baltasar. That's somebody that can come in as well. I think for me, one of the issues why Fafa doesn't see a lot of playing time and you see more of Kremaski is because Mascherano understands that Fafa, once he comes in, he'll bring you that attack, but at a large cost on defense. And there are other players that can kind of give you a little bit more attack, but still maintain a good presence in the midfield. So
I think we'll see Baltasar as a sub in this game because of the goal. Because in sports, if goals and moments like that don't earn you playing time, then that's bad coaching because you deserve to be rewarded when you do the right thing. And so I think we'll see him as a sub. Hopefully, I'd like to at least because he's way more exciting than the subs that we normally put in. Um, we'll see. We'll see. It's a lot of. I know we keep saying that we'll see, but it's really. I think we know what the attacks. We know what the front um six is gonna look like. The back four, I think we're like 95% sure. A little dependent on Jordi Alba and Messi. You never know. We're hopeful, but you never know. And we'll just have to wait and see. So with that in mind, to finish us off, let's give our score prediction and who we think will score, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So this time, I'm gonna have Matt go first in case Gian, you have a story you're trying to build. But Matt, why don't you start us off?
So score predictions for tomorrow. It's going to be an exciting game. I mean, I would want to assume it'll be high scoring. I think Orlando are going to try to get on the front foot early, which I think they will. I think they'll get the first goal. Honestly, I think I'm hoping for a goal fest.
This would be a nice one.
I think against Tigres I predicted 2-2, which was almost 2-2. And I think with the Orlando versus Inter Miami, I think it'll be something similar. I think I'm going to predict 2-2 again. I'm going to do 2-2 regular time, and then we win on penalty kicks.
Okay, do you want me to go or do you want to go, Gian?
you can go.
Oh, he's got the story ready. Yeah, I know. He's still cooking the story. It's okay.
You know, I'm at this point where honestly, I had felt very confident up until the Messi injury because we had been playing so consistently, and I felt very like I felt much more. I knew what was going to happen in these matches. Right now, every match just feels like a completely different game and a completely different team, even if it's the same players. And I know part of that is because it's a competition. There have been injuries. We have Rodrigo de Paul. Excuse me, I know my voice is fading a little bit, but I'm really not sure. So I'm gonna say 2-1 Inter Miami win because I do think it'll be a tight game. I do think Orlando will score, but I think we will find a way to win. And I'm gonna say 2-1 and my two goals. It's gonna be Messi and it's gonna be Rodrigo de Paul.
I think for tomorrow, I think tomorrow will be one of those games that gives you a lot of excitement, a lot of thrilling moments, a lot of heart attacks, a lot of nothing is set and concrete until the very last minute. So I think it'll be an edge of your seat type of game. I think it'll be an isolated thunderstorm type of night. 79
Oh,
degrees,
don't manifest
Here
a
we go.
thunderstorm though.
45%, 80% humidity.
No.
7 mile per
Yeah,
hour.
but
winds,
Orlando has the
winds.
same weather, so you can't use weather as an advantage.
I think there'll be a Yacine Chueco sighting on the field. I think the game opens up with Inter Miami scoring. I think it's going to be Suarez with a just perfectly curling center into the area for Telasco Segovia header. And then I think that we'll be excited up 1-0. And then all of a sudden we go into the second half. And I think Muriel scores, ties it 1-1. Then I think Angulo scores. They go up 2-1. I think we get to the 90th plus 1 minute. And I think at that point, Messi scores and we tie it. And I think we go to penalties. And I think we go to the very last penalty. We go 10 deep. And it's Ustari with a Panenka penalty kick for the win.
Ustari. You almost had me there until it was Ustari with the pennant.
I just think it's going to be exciting. It'll be thrilling, and it'll go to the very end. Two teams.
If Ustari, another bet incoming. If Ustari does a Panenka winner in the penalty shootout, I will buy you. I'll buy you like a new Stadi jersey, and then you're gonna hang it on your wall.
That'd be actually sick if you do that. I
And
would love
okay, and then I want something. I'm gonna say something.
God,
crazy,
I
but
want something.
I want an option too. I want all three of us to like right now, and then we have to end the show because I gotta run. Unless you two boys want to stay, but I think we've covered pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Each of us say something so crazy that if it happens, we the other two come together and split a jersey for that person of their choice. I think let's make it so, but it has to be crazy. So here's my crazy prediction is that Luis Suarez scores a bicycle kick or a scissor kick, like an acrobatic goal. I think that's a fair one to say that.
Oh, that's
Or is
too
that
open. An acrobatic
easy?
goal, that could be anything.
Okay, like a bicycle or
You have to
scissor
say
kick.
scorpion.
Scorpion. That's no, not a
Scorpion's like in the back.
Well,
like,
yeah.
That's
A
why.
a bicycle or scissor kick goal. You think that's likely?
I think he can
I think
score
he
a
can-
scissor kick goal.
Yes.
Okay,
Not a
fine,
bicycle kick,
bicycle.
but I think a
Fine.
scissor kick goal he can score.
Suarez scores a bicycle or outside of the box golazo.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
That's my out of the box, and if I do it,
Wait, no, that's not fair. That's like easy. What are we doing? That's like me saying like if Messi scores
well, then
Olympico,
choose
which
a
he
different
tries
one.
with 10
I'm giving you a chance to choose a different one. Then it was Starry getting a Panenka. You can re-choose. Fine, but this is what fine. Suarez bicycle kick goal. That's my one thing where it's crazy, but there's a 1% chance it could happen. That's my one.
Okay.
Matt, you give yours. I think that's fair. It's very, very, very unlikely.
Is it too easy to say Ashinde scoring, like in general? Like,
No, you can't say that.
Is that too easy?
I'll say this
Because it's like super unlikely anyway.
Ashinde scores twice, I think, is fair.
Ashinde?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Gian? Like, I think if he scores once, no, but if he scores
Ashinde brace in the semifinal against Orlando, like you need to buy me the whole kit and get it signed by everybody. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. That's the point. Like Luis Suarez isn't scoring a bicycle kick. Sorry.
yeah.
Like
Okay, I'm predicting an Ashinde brace.
I think that's something where like it could happen. Very 98% unlikely, but you never know. Magic happens in soccer.
I think if Suarez scores a chilena, they're taking him out on a stretcher. That's I don't
which
think
is why that's my choice. It's something that's unlikely. And then Matt Allende scoring 2 goals seems unlikely. I'll give it to you.
I'm going with a Messi Olympico. There you go.
That's good. Perfect. Okay, that's fair. I mean, honestly, of the three of us, Matt probably has the best odds, but I still think it's fair enough.
I think somebody put this here on the thing.
Actually, Matt, 2 goals is true. 2 goals is it's
Suarez tries something crazy every game. He literally
he fails though very miserably.
But he
look, Alessio's like Ashinde brace bet 365 can put it at 201 odds. Come on.
All right, fine. Deal.
Okay. How about this?
Brace,
it has to be a
not
brace.
including a penalty. A penalty
no.
doesn't count.
Yeah.
Okay.
1000%.
Okay, so if Allende brace, Luis Suarez bicycle kick goal, and then I'm sorry, what did you say, Gian? You said Messi Olympico.
Yeah, Messi Olympico.
Okay.
Or Ustadi Panenka winner.
I feel like I have a high chance. I feel like there's 10 Olympico attempts a game by Messi. Like every corner.
He tries. So agreed. I think each of us, I'd say Matt has maybe 5%, and then me and Gian probably have like 2 to 1%, but it's close enough where I'm comfortable with this.
Actually, it completes 1 dribble.
Which I'm comfortable with this. I'm comfortable with these crazy.
That's actually a good one too. one dribble without flying 10 meters ahead of him.
Yes.
If Allende takes one long ball and controls it and it lands at his feet, I'll buy you like
like a Starbucks coffee.
Right. So okay, this is a good deal, and we will discuss it on our post show. All right. Well, boys, we need to wrap it up.
Yep.
Thank you everyone for watching. Obviously, tomorrow is a huge game. We will be live tweeting and posting content throughout the match. Make sure you are following us as always at Messi and Co on Twitter. Follow us at /X at Messi and Co. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, 5 Reasons Football. where we'll be posting the latest. And stay tuned because we'll have the news, the updates, the rosters, the play-by-play, the color commentary, everything, the thoughts, all of it tomorrow. Maybe even post-match interviews. Who knows? So make sure you're following us. Thank you for watching. For this episode with these two crazy men of Messi and Co. I'm Ashley. That is Gian. That is Matt. And I think we will see you next time.
I think.
Bye.